Hasim Rahman Jr. was the best option, and called him up right away, and he was immediately down.
Jay, could we potentially see that fight versus you and Julio Cesar Chavez?
I would like that
if he gets, gets his situation, under control, and you think that could also do massive numbers?
Yeah, I wish him the best in his recovery and all that, but as soon as he's better, I would love to make that fight happen. I think it's a great fight, and I know I can beat him, and that would be cool to beat a former world champion. That would be a step up and another accomplishment in my career.
Jake, what does Hasim do really well that you're worried about?
What does Hasim do really well that I'm worried about? I think fighting a southpaw for the first time is going to be interesting. I've practiced a lot with it. I know he's going to come out southpaw, but obviously everything's different under the lights, and he has a 4 to 5 inch reach advantage. So just going to have to close the distance, close the gap, and get near him and make it rough.
Have you now separated yourself from the other YouTubers in boxing? Think about KSI.
Yeah,
he's got
close.
Any comments on that fight?
It's not
the
even,
KSI fight.
It's not even close. It's just two different worlds. They're what they're doing is cool, and I respect it, and I'm rooting for Alex Wasabi. But it's just not the same level of shit that I'm doing, as far as competition-wise.
Rahman did lose his last fight, but he did throw 50 punches around. You've not seen 50 punches around. Woodley averaged, I think, 30 in the second fight. First fight, he was throwing about 20 punches around. That's a new wrinkle. Besides being a southpaw, he throws a lot of punches. Are you ready to see volume, and do you think there'll be opportunities for counter shots?
For sure. I mean, he was throwing a lot of punches, but it was because the guy was sitting there as a heavy bag. He couldn't get out of the way. So when he's fighting me, that punch count's going to come way, way down because he's not going to be able to hit me.
Fighting at Madison Square Garden.
This is surreal. Like the fact that this is all happening is a dream come true. The 12-year-old version of myself would be giving me a high five. Then you'd be so proud of what I've done and what I've accomplished. And this was a dream come true. I wrote it down on my bucket list when I was 18 years old to sell out Madison Square Garden. I didn't know what it was going to be for or why, but here we are 7 years later selling out the most iconic venue in the world. It's pretty remarkable.
Do you consider McGregor responding to your win? Because I feel like he used to not respond at all, but now he does. To me, he's got your attention.
Yeah, no, 100%. He's been looking and paying attention to everything the whole entire time. He has to. Numbers don't lie. And at the end of the day, very few times in decades and centuries do massive names and massive fighters come out of the woodworks. You have the Floyd Mayweathers, and then it was really Conor. And guess who's next? It's me. And so everyone has to pay attention to that. No one has done what I've done in 5 fights. No one has sold this many pay-per-views in 5 fights. No one has sold out this many venues in 5 fights. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm the new kid on the block. I'm the new king on the block, highest paid. The numbers prove it. And so he has to pay attention. And he knows that I'm the money fight for him. Who else is he going to go and fight right now?
Jake, you said that there's weight divisions of boxing for a reason. He's much bigger than you. You said you want to knock him out, which would be great for a highlight reel. If you don't knock him out, but you get a decision victory, is that sweet enough for you?
Nah, I'm going for the knockout. Especially for the fans. People watch me now because of the knockout of the year. People watch me because of knocking out Ben Askren. People tune in to see that from me, and I'm going to bring that to Hasim Rahman Jr. Even if it's not a deadly KO, I guarantee you it'll be a TKO, and the ref will have to pull me off him because I'm going in there and I'm going to get fucking vicious and rip his fucking head off.
Isn't that a lot of pressure, though? We come from the role of going viral, so in boxing, getting a sound win is still good. But do you feel like you have to deliver a knockout because you want those viral moments?
I do. I feel like that, and I train for that, and I let that pressure in camp fuel me. I let it motivate me, and man, when I have a challenge like this, people aren't going to believe. Like, there's no reason I should beat this kid on paper. But when it happens, when I knock him out, what the fuck can anyone say?